This story starts with anger, and not just any, the anger of Achilles. The Iliad is most likely one of the most famous literary works of all time, for all the good reasons. We will go through the first book inside it today, where the pawns on the playboard of gods are set for the story and war to be finished. Without further ado, let's go! As I said, our story starts with the rage of a man, but before that there was Chryses. Chryses was a priest of Apollo who has walked into the Greek encampment of Troy with one goal: take back his daughter who has become a warlord of the king of men, Agamemnon. The Greeks have been sieging Troy for 10 long years, now camped on the grounds by the sea in front of the city. They raided villages around, and in one of them, Chryseis, the priest's daughter, was taken. The priest took a rich ransom with him. The other generals and soldiers looked upon the riches that stood before them. But Agamemnon was stubborn. He saw it as a personal attack on his pride, and sent the priest away, keeping his daughter. And so Chryses prayed to his god. He prayed to Apollo to punish the Achaeans for their stubbornness. And Apollo heard his prayer. He left Olympus and sat by the camp. His bow fired again and again. Plague started spreading among the camp, animals and people dying all the same. There had to be a stop to this madness. The Greeks endured this for 9 long days, but at last the kings held an assembly which was pushed forward by Achilles, who got pushed by Hera herself. The generals discussed. Surely Lord Apollo is mad, but why? Calchas, the prophet of the camp, knew, but he was so scared of the Atreides, who were the sons of Atreus, Agamemnon and Menelaus, that he declined to speak the truth until Achilles promised that he will protect him from the generals after he is done speaking. So Calchas told them. It wasn't a fault in their rights or anything. Agamemnon simply insulted Apollo's priest and refused to give his daughter back. It was just a matter of time that the priest prays to his god and demands justice. Apollo won't stop until Chryseis is returned to her father without the Danaans taking any ransom, and offer holy offerings to Chryses as well. No sooner, no later. It went as well as expected. Agamemnon combusted with anger. She was his prize, and Calchas never had any good prophecies for him. Always takes something from the king of men and never gives. But all right, Agamemnon said as he calmed down. Even though he likes the girl more than his wife apparently, he is willing to give her up. If he first receives another prize instead of her. But isn't it just wrong for their king to not have anything? Achilles was a bit flabbergasted. Like, they don't really have a fund for new prizes lying around the camp, but the Swift Warrior promised that Agamemnon is going to receive so much more once they take over Troy. But Agamemnon wanted his prize now, and the second best prize went to no other than Achilles. He wanted his girl, Chryses. This angers the young warrior. He mentions that the Trojans have never done any harm to him or his people, that even though he leads Agamemnon's raids and battles, it's the king of men who always gets the biggest prize. Now, is that even fair? Now, you need to understand that this was never about the women and love. They were prizes, and Agamemnon wanted to show Achilles that he's more powerful than him, that he can do this, that he can do whatever he wishes by taking his Chryses. Achilles would kill Agamemnon here and there if it wasn't for Athena who intervened and stopped him. The Swift Warrior promised Atreides that there will come a day when they will miss him on the battlefield. When Hector, the prince of Troy, will be slaying Greeks and the rest of the still living soldiers will be so desperate to see him back. With that, Achilles sat back down and old Nestor stood up. How happy would the Trojans be if they saw 2 most powerful Greeks argue like this? He asked. But even Nestor couldn't stop the argument. The assembly ended. Achilles with Patroclus and his men went to their camp, and Agamemnon put together a ship to take Chryseis home. And he also sent 2 of his men to bring Chryses from Achilles. The 2 soldiers were scared, to say the least, but Achilles calmed them. He wasn't mad at them, it was their general. So Patroclus gave the 2 heralds Chryses, and after she left, Achilles went onto the shore and wept. Now, he didn't do this just to be dramatic. His mother Thetis was a sea goddess, and she came to him from the sea. His mom listened to her son's troubles, but he had a request as well. A plan formed out of anger. Achilles wanted Thetis to go to Zeus, hug his knees, and beg him to help the Trojans, to help the enemy of the Greeks, just so they know how it feels to fight without their strongest warrior. And even though Thetis could do this in 12 days the soonest, because the Olympians went to a party in Ethiopia, she will do it. Achilles was to stop fighting together with the Achaeans until then, and wait by their ships with his soldiers, the Myrmidons. At the same time, Odysseus and the other men on the ship delivered Chryseis back to her father, sacrificed to Apollo, and the priest talked his god off killing more Achaeans. Apollo was satisfied with the outcome. After 12 days, Thetis did exactly as instructed and persuaded Zeus to help her, even if the king of the gods wasn't exactly happy about the whole ordeal, not wanting to make Hera his enemy. But it shall be done, that was his promise. When Zeus entered his palace, where all 12 gods resided, Hera immediately knew that he talked to Thetis. She just smelled it. Hera figured out the plan to slaughter the Greek army until they begged Achilles to be back almost immediately, and even Zeus had to confirm to Hera that she figured it out. But there's nothing the queen of the gods could do. This was the decision of Zeus alone. You can imagine that after the king and queen argued, the family dinner couldn't really be that nice. And so Hephaestus tried to calm things down, persuading Hera to apologize. He didn't want to see her hurt by the hand of Zeus as he was. Hera accepted the offering of her son, and the atmosphere calmed down. Apollo and the Muses sang, and the night was merry. And that's where book 1 of the Iliad ends. That's gonna be it for today. The next book is book 2, and I don't know if I have it in me drawing that many ships. But anyway, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and bye bye!